2, 3, go.
We are live! Now we can start.
All right, let's talk about episode 1. All right, so the first 11 minutes, Jono, we did talk about this. You have not seen it, or you had not seen it at the time.
That's correct.
So do you want to make any comments about these scenes while you have the time?
I mean, I think that it's been kind of beaten up pretty well to some degree. I don't hate the direction. And it's an interesting thing that it's actually a failed coup, as we find more. But it also starts what we can assume is the breaking. I feel like it's a massive middle finger to the Tower of Law. What's that?
The breaking of the tower.
Yes. Apologies.
Just to clarify.
It feels like a massive insult to Tower Law that they just stop at 11. I don't think that's how quorums work. I think that they're.
I brought that up when we were talking, but you hadn't seen it yet. But I was like, isn't there a rule like they have to hide it from them? Like if they're there, they can't bar them from it. They're sinners.
That's correct. Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. I was just making sure I wasn't crazy, but I was like, I don't know the nuance of fucking Tower Law. I'm just assuming. Also, spoilers for the TV show and the books. This is the tower breaks. But no, this is we talk about we're a reread podcast, so we talk about everything, and we're going to talk about the books. Probably not beyond this season, but you never know, especially with a certain character in episode 2. But we'll probably have pretty heavy spoilers, for our show. There's plenty of shows out there that go spoiler heavy, and they don't go, they don't say anything that ruins the show.
Oh, that would be so hard to do. I can't imagine.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that.
I can't either.
What do you just go like, oh, that was really nice. I had fun. I enjoyed it. Like, how do you just talk about something without spoiling it? It must be an art form. Like, I don't think I could do it.
Taffy, that is a wonderful tweet, by the way, or Scoobly, whatever it is.
It made me laugh.
It makes me very happy too. And if you want to know what we're talking about, go to Taffy's Blue Sky and/or Twitter. I forget which one it is.
I don't post on. There's none of my followers on Blue Sky are involved with this stuff at all. I've been doing, but it's been fun to be back on Twitter and playing with Wheel of Time friends as much as I can.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Anyway, so I found that kind of just like flouting law and custom, which is ironic because that is actually what she is accused of, I guess, she being the Maryland. But this is all rehash kind of thing, so we can skip forward a minute.
Sorry, I'm trying to get Taffy's image of Gwen still to work, and it's by the way, it's in the image description, but I just pulled it up so I could look at it next to the one that I had, and mine's not nearly as good, and it just made me laugh immediately, and I was just like,
I told you.
My wife does have one thing to say before she squeaks into oblivion. Definitely love that as a term. That it was kind of unfair. They put Naomi to be the one to grab the things that are all on pedestals. It feels a little unfair that she was the one given that task.
God, that's horrible.
I agree. It was horrible for what they did to her.
It was after she knocked them out, so she probably just weaved a little platform.
Well, remember, this is a big conversation between Joe and Tom and me. You can't pick yourself up, nor can you make an Iceman slide, Tom, who's not.
You can make an Iceman slide. We've talked about it in great detail, Jonah.
She did it. I guess she proved us all that she did. You can do the Iceman slide.
I mean, she lifted her up. She lifted herself up with air on an air pedestal.
You can't fucking do that. Can't fucking do it.
She totally did it. All right, so this is what I wanted to show, John, just because I just love it. Just her slicing this bitch in half.
Oh yeah,
so rad.
It was my favorite. This is my favorite bit of the entire fight. Also, I do love those like razor blade weaves that they're chucking at them.
Why aren't there more of them? This felt like
fantastic.
A really other than a couple instances of massive violence, a very non-lethal fight. The amount of times that like people don't die, the amount of times that it's just like it feels very confused. Like some of these are just getting sliced in half, and then some of them are just not being burned to death. Some of them are not being.
Yeah, there was like a
literally-
fiery blow up wave, and the Aes Sedai was wearing white. She got splattered with blood, and granted, that could have come from someone else, but like it just seemed like I was just like, what just happened? Was that like, was she getting injured? Like it was hard to tell.
So. I thought that chick got
because
wasted.
she acts as if she's getting injured, but maybe
When,
I don't know. Maybe it's like
when
little
Swan
pieces
is
of
held.
rock are flying everywhere or something. She got like peppered. What'd you say?
When Swan is held in a minute. At first, I couldn't tell if she was shielded or aired because it felt like yes, you can lift others.
She must have used air to get the dream ring off the top shelf. God damn. You can make air steps. Not for you though, right?
Can you make?
Could you make air steps and just tie it off and make a little step stool and then stand on it?
I'm trying to think if you can
Surely
make
you
air
can.
steps. No. I'm trying to think if Dana Lou says it, obviously it happened at some point. But they talk about the fact that you can't carry yourself. But isn't that kind of the same idea? Unless air steps have like the same like issue with kind of you can only go so far and then you're done.
Rand does it, but like, oh damn, it's just that. Rand does it, but it's Rand, and he has trouble doing it, right?
Well, there's also the question of is like a male thing versus female thing, like because at some point men can take fire in and move it.
Spoilers for that book. He also slides off the boat on an Iceman slide, which I thought was great.
Fuck right off, and he does do. Now I think about when it is when he boards the Shanchan ship.
Here's a nice picture of Maxim and Ivan banging.
Alana.
Well, I didn't catch it. I didn't get a good one of that when we were talking about the 11 minutes, and I was like, that was so, like, I don't know, fake urgent. You know, like I just did not read well.
But I was trying to figure out
like, that's it?
how else could they have done it though? Like,
I don't know, run up and then run and hit your shoulder into it.
Right.
Yeah,
you can't get your handsome headshot if you do that though.
Use your fucking sword as a lever, like but pry it open. Hit the fucking hinges. Do anything. If you have power, like, I don't know if they doubt they have power.
Just banging on the door, hoping someone opens it is oddly like ineffective. Do you
think they were still trying to obey her though by not going in because she told them they couldn't go in like 2 minutes before?
Like clearly not. I think clearly not, but maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, that's are you guys done talking about the first 11 minutes? We've talked about it before, but
I forget where 11 minutes ends. Yeah. Where does 11 end?
It ends right with Alana going off against.
This is also dumb. It's 7-1.
How the fuck fast did they get down there? Maxim and Ivan got blown up from the doors.
Yeah.
So I guess it presumably would take the Black Aja like a bit of time to get together and all together, but it seems like they just like walk, you know, from different alleyways on one street and all like kind of Ocean's 11 together, you know, kind of thing. So I'm like, what? What's the?
I did like in that scene.
It doesn't seem like it's been that long. You know what I mean? I don't know.
It was like an old Western that they set up there in the alleyway.
But 7-on-1 with 2 fucking warders.
That's another thing. What?
That's the thing. Like that's what bothers me. If you want to say the warders are actually a little more capable.
Alana's cool, and she's Green Aja, so presumably she's a much better fighter than half the people there. But like,
I
feel like Leandrin can go pretty toe to toe with Alana.
Also, Ivan gets stabbed. And it looks like it's in the same place where it looks like they got Leandrin through the heart. How did they save her?
So many fucking she gets stabbed multiple times.
I don't know.
She gets stabbed right in and it looks like the same spot where they got Leandrin. So
just above the ventricles. It's okay.
So the warders fucked up again. They couldn't even stab her through the heart. Like they should know where to do that.
Yeah.
The thing with going upstairs like Randit is the OP is not what is lifting it. His legs are what is raising his legs.
Well turned calves. Yeah.
The door was sealed with 1 power?
Oh,
okay. That's fair. Then why bang on it? They're not idiots.
Yeah, they are.
Are they trying to just say like, "Hey, we're on the outside and we can help you"?
Or
I guess that makes sense. But like in the middle of whatever's going on in there, do you really think when I said I was gonna be like, "Oh, hold on, let me get the door"?
No.
Oh, hold
someone's
on one
knocking-
second.
not-
Let me just
knocking
dodge
on my
these
door.
air razor blades, zipping people's heads off.
Airs or blades.
Ears or blades?
The red said that he had Leandrin's back no matter what, so they have to help the Black Aja.
But I don't.
They did. It was
That
a
is Galena, by
promise.
the way. The one with the mark under her eye.
Yeah.
That's Galena. So I was like, oh, Galena. I hate her. Love to hate her, but I hate her. Can't wait for her to be a bigger thing. She's the one who speaks in Pikey, you know?
Yeah, she's yeah.
Yeah.
And she likes strawberries.
She likes strawberries. Forgot about that. No, they don't have to help her. They never thought she was black. Oh, that's true. That's true. Technically, they
Oh, I
don't.
thought that was a joke.
Oh, it was a joke, but it was,
Nothing is as
complete with the High Noon soundtrack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alana is Kung Fu John. Let's talk about this for a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, she gets thrown into a pillar. How did her back not
goddamn
break?
hell? It's that shit.
It's absurd. It's why? But you don't need to do this.
That's
Like,
a
the
good
whole point
shot,
is, like,
Joe. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
So
you
a lot
got.
of people.
I like that.
Oh, thanks. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good one.
That's cool looking.
A lot of people are like, oh, it's the whole point of it is like an allusion to Bollywood and like that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, I get it, but that's not what this show is about. Like, why are you?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't give a fuck. It's an allusion to anything. Unless it's
Yeah.
an allusion to
Oh,
the
who
fucking
said-
Wheel of Time. Fuck right off.
I despise Galena. So do I. I just love
it's
to hate.
pretty. There's not many
Wow,
people who are like, oh, Galena's my favorite character. I like the fact that she was a rapey, pervy,
It's
dark
jumping
friend
berries.
lesbian who got full circle. Great.
Well, the show is fan fiction.
Fuck yes. I mean,
That's true.
that's an opinion.
Why would
some
she
people
close
have.
the distance against multiple? That's a fucking excellent question. Like her warder
So
should be in
I
front
did
of her.
actually read
closing
about
the distance.
this.
Yeah.
One of her favorite.
Where'd you read about it? MySpace.com/podcast.
That's the only place you can get any information.
It's the only
so
place
I'm
to get any of
guessing,
your news these days. The
Damn.
new Twitter of time. MySpace.com/thing with Taffy also. Both relevant news feeds.
You cut off a wonderful Cake reference, the 1995 album Fashion
Yeah.
Nugget, and their song.
She's going for
This-
speed.
Oh,
Yes, that's one. That's one. And there you go.
I mean,
that's a good one.
this part. I mean,
It's
again,
not.
that's cool that they're like, hey, this actress is, of a certain, Bollywood
Of a certain
adjacent,
age, is that what you're about to say?
of a certain age.
She's
No.
spry. Yeah. But again, why? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for the character. No offense, it doesn't exactly make.
Also, like those skirt, like I've seen her walk around. They're heavy. She can barely run.
You know what that
suddenly
means?
she's
though?
just springboarding off of concrete, cobblestone streets, and
Technically,
doing
the
a
heavier
flip
they are
above
while they're
fucking
up.
fireballs.
The faster they fall
It's
and then
insane.
when she's up in the air.
I mean, it still looked cool, but it was fucking ridiculous. I was like, it's not that. This isn't the goddamn Matrix. Like, what are we
Right.
watching? Again, like at the end of the day, is it a big deal? Nah. But it's
Yes,
still
But
like
I
it's still like,
can
what the
understand
fuck?
the
What are you
jumping
doing?
thing, like whatever but they tossed her into a fucking pillar that broke in half, a column that was holding up a building, and then was okay. Like her back. would
Ogre
be
stone
broken.
masonry isn't what it used to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
It's
just crumbling.
deteriorating.
It's crumbling all over Darvalon.
What you
Okay,
didn't realize is
I was
we were-
wrong. I'm sorry.
This is the foregate of the Ogier stuff. Like, so it's all just bullshit. Yeah, that's two swords.
If
right through the
Yoda can
heart.
fly into battle, so can Alana. I don't like when
It-
Yoda did it either.
She has had her face burned. She's had so many. She was also cut several times. She's been
Well,
spitting
she's
blood.
been healed. She's been healed since then. She
And
was
then
healed
she's
in the ring.
exhausted, and then still got two swords through her.
Oh, that's
And
true.
then-
I didn't think about her being tired.
Unless she was embracing the swords, which still helps a little bit.
That
Finish
looks cool.
this out.
That-
At the
I like
end of
that
this battle.
The shielding look is cool.
Yeah, I think the shields look cool. I do think that they've done a better
Yeah, the
job with
shields
the
look cool.
weaves. Yeah.
Yeah,
Weaves in
They're
general
they're
all
carrying
look cool.
on the cool shit they've done with the weaves from season 2, and it looks like it's just getting more complicated, and I like it.
And there
Yeah,
so far hasn't
those
been
look
a
really cool.
bizarre woven dragon, and I like that. But anyway, finish this battle.
All right, well, that's in between, but this happened. I fucking loved that. That was amazing. She's just like, I'm gonna fucking chop your goddamn head off. That part was amazing. I love that. More of that. I don't need her flipping through the air. It's ridiculous.
Yes, we don't. That's the most unnecessary thing. It's very. We don't need physical to go with what is already represented on stage or on screen.
Like, but again, this is pretty physical. She grabs her by the neck and goes like, yeah, like that's fucking awesome. That was cool.
But any person can do that. Any person can actually like.
Yeah, of course, yeah, because that's.
I don't need a supposed Aes Sedai jumping 12 feet in the air over shit. That
I've said for years, Green should be weapon trained, at least if not by all the Aes Sedai. Physical fitness should also be part of their. I mean, I agree, but like,
I think that makes eminent sense. But
they don't though. You know what I mean? Like that. Not that I'm saying I don't agree with that, but like they don't.
Well, here's Glenn's fanfic. Here you go.
In season 1, when we spent entirely too much time with Maxim and Ivan and Stepan, Alana wasn't training with them. You know, she was just hanging out.
Well, that's because she'd already done her training, which was way better.
You do a fireball that's coming at you, you fucking jump over it. Even if she had like slid on her knees and gone underneath it, I'd be like, all right.
Yeah, she's green. She's
flipping through the air, but I'm just like, what the goddamn hell?
She's what, Jono? She's green. She's used to being on her knees. Is that what you said?
Yeah. See, that's the training.
Oh, hey, Kay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hi, Kay.
Hello.
You guys wait.
Exactly, which does not train her how to jump over fireballs. Ivan and Max were just shotting and she's flipping over it like a swan.
Yeah.
I don't know. That part I was just like,
because I think that this is the biggest trap.
So this ends with Alana flinging a sword at Leandrin flinging a sword at Alana, and then Ivan gets it chest.
Oh, that shot.
Yeah, it's bad.
That's the worst choice. Let's play a game. Which one of these was a Wheel of Time character? Maxim or Ivan? Joe, you go first.
It's Ivan's a Wheel of Time character.
Interesting. Taffy?
Well, Ivan, but also it's kind of problematic that they do tend to not pay attention to
they
what
favor
they do.
Maxim for some
what they do with black
what
characters.
Taffy's trying to tactfully say.
Well, actually, that's not what Taffy's trying to say. Taffy's trying to say it's actually racist. So
they should be more mindful of what they do with I don't know.
I love that. You had a point. You were going to go for it, and then you see.
How do you know what
I don't know enough. I don't really know enough. I haven't paid attention enough, but it's just something that they do. I don't know.
They only had two options. It was going to be a kill the game moment anyway.
I know.
Yeah. Also, they're really fluid.
Yeah, but I don't. I'm not in on any. I'm not a clever enough man to know what they're doing, like race wise. I will tell you this: I'm a clever enough man to realize that one of them was a Wheel of Time character, and that's just like the wrong.
They're both Wheel of Time characters. They just renamed it because it was too close to the other dude. It's fine.
It's not.
It's just a different name. It's fine.
I guess technically, that
change is totally fine. These two names are way too identical. Okay,
or they could have not killed Ivan. Why did they have to kill Ivan?
I don't know.
Is it setting up for the whole land thing later? But they already did the whole land thing in Alana and stuff. So what's the point? Like they didn't have to kill Ivan.
Can be pouty in the Two Rivers.
What if
cheer him right up with some good old frolic?
Ivan and Lan end up together.
I guess it's possible.
I mean, Ivan. I'm sorry, Maxim and Lan. I've got drunk already. Maxim and Lan ends up together. I'll tell you.
Who's like Lan's into corpses?
No,
maybe.
I thought you said horses, and I was like, I'm very confused by that. And maybe
horses.
Maybe
he calls it his dick and his blade. Anyway, so that battle ends, and they for some reason just leave Alana and Maxim there.
Well, they gotta get out of there, man. More Aes Sedai. They just had a huge one-power battle. More Aes Sedai is going to be showing up any second.
It takes 0 seconds to channel one last killing weave. We don't have to throw a sword.
Man, they also, I will say this, though. The Reds in the tower, like, just went like this and killed those two warders. And I was like, where the fuck was that weave when
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's this weird... it's this weird non-lethal usage over here, and then just brutally efficient. And like again, to a certain extent, some of these people have disparities in their ability to
This is
kill.
the most expensive fan. Yeah, it is.
Not yet. It's good. You should see season 4.
Are you guys? Are we all going to the cons? Maybe.
Taffy? You
No.
fucking ruined it.
Fan favorite?
Oh. Okay, wait, what did that say?
Said Ivan's actor was recast. Maxim actor is a fan favorite. Again, I'm gonna leave that one alone. I don't have anything to say about it.
Okay.
And so Alana can say she survived a dead warder.
Yeah, I know. Do
Well,
it
no,
the
but
other way.
But then she says later, she's like, I've lost many warders over the years, or several warders before. She was talking to Perry.
This comment I do like. He's the glue that holds them together in that through. So I mean, like that kind of makes sense. Like his death is more meaningful to the other two characters. I just feel like they forced Ivan. That's all.
So look, maybe I've got a dick in my craw. That's what that term is, right? Because I just take umbrage about the fact that the character in question is the showrunner's boyfriend. He's not a bad actor. He does come a lot, and I appreciate that, Wyatt Ma'am. Rumor has it. Sorry, stuck in there. But like, it just feels slightly. What's the right term?
I don't
know. Bullshit. I guess, yeah, forced. Well, that's I don't want to put that out there. That's not fair. I don't know what their relationship.
I feel like it's like it just feels like it's a little bit of nepotism, favoritism,
chicanery, nepotism.
Yeah.
Although, like in other episodes, later episodes, I do like seeing the range of his character, where he's more.
Maybe he's a great actor.
I don't think he's a bad actor.
Right.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why they're spending so much time on him. Like that's the part I'm just like, who cares? Like it's fine. I don't know. It's a little. It's a little too much. That's all.
Yeah. And that's it. And like the combination just becomes more and more irksome.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
Swan gets captured real quick, but then kind of forces her way.
So that looks like, go back one scene. Like that's a hell of a bukkake, right? Looks like Slimer just just went through.
Yes, she just went right blasted.
Later on, she's gonna get a blowjob from a ghost. She gets out. Her getting out is pretty. I mean, obviously, Moraine distracts them by
Yeah, Moraine helps.
But she's already kind of like tearing at it before.
Yeah, that was cool. But like,
how
could she get out? She's still shielded, and she's like tearing through it. I thought that was pretty cool.
Again, showing strength and breaking a shield like that, I think is pretty cool. Like, I mean, whether it was like handled with the right nuance that everyone's gonna notice that little tiny tidbit in there, maybe not, but like I thought it was pretty cool.
What about when Rand? We're gonna have a character who's got one arm and one, like at some point soon. Is he able to tear at it the same way? Because this looks very physically manifested.
Well, again, I mean, we've talked about this before, but I think they do this really well in the show. Is like some people use their hands like crazy, especially some of the older Aes Sedai, but Egwene just kind of stands there.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
And I like, and I think that
good.
I think that's going to translate to Rand later. Like he tends to just kind of stand there with his arms at his side too, like he's about to start lifting weight. Anyway, Moraine says, "Save someone." What do you guys think about that?
I still don't understand like the macro point of why the fuck are all of these people in Tarvalon. That's something that actually I haven't really mentioned that often.
Why would they stay at home though? Like, did you think it was weird that they started there?
There's more than 2 options. Last I checked. And also I've got a map. There is no sane way to go from Falm to Tyr and end up in Tarvalon unless you bastardize the map and fucked around.
Well, I think that part of it was they needed Nynaeve back there to confront Leandrin.
Right, but the other people, therefore letting them use Lethal Weaves, but the instance I'm talking about is when Maxim and Ivan go up against all the Blockaje who have no restrictions. So it's like, why
Yeah.
would they not just murder?
Yeah. The weird 3v1 Western showdown.
Oh,
with just
okay.
one nice guy.
It's like getting caught in spider webs. I mean, it is. That's how it looks.
No,
I think
no,
it's
I
pretty
meant
cool.
like you were saying, why would they go back? Why would they all be in Tarvalon?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so they they're like regrouping.
That was season 1, Wyatt Man. All right.
There's been a whole season since then. She lost land.
Yeah.
She got back with land.
Yeah.
I can only imagine it has to do with the subtlety or not so subtle parts where Moraine and Lanfear and Lan are trying to decide how best to put Rand in the right direction. We'll talk about that when we get there. But like, they need to, in their brains, I think they need to drop the girls off at the tower and just be like, get out of here.
Yeah.
You know, like, I think that's pretty
They're
realistic
resting
thing for
and
Moraine to do
regrouping
to
in
like kind of like
Tarvalon.
whittle the group off so she can manipulate Rand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Although
I'm sorry.
it
I
was
don't
really
agree with
fun to see everybody together. That was really fun.
We're gonna get to that because I've got.
Yeah.
Well, where are we now?
She can't return to the tower, but she can return to Tarvalon. Well, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Apologies.
So she can stand outside the tower holding a boombox.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
All right, so she does that. Lan goes up and checks on Nynaeve. It's very emotional. I mean, like, that's cool and everything, but like, we're pretty much really quickly back to like the group. And they're basically just talking about what their next move is.
I
as a
really
group.
like how
And
I like all the amber lighting they use everywhere.
yeah, it's cool. I like it.
It's really cool. It's a really cool touch. It's all that bright amber. It's very warm and it's very fantastic feeling.
Moist.
Yeah, when it's sun, it's a nice warm glow. When it's dark, it's fucking black and it's hard to see.
Yeah.
It's my only caveat to that. Whoever's doing the color grading is just like really good at this one and boost it up a little bit for the nighttime scenes. And I know that's probably like especially in early seasons, it was meant to like hide the Trollocs and like not show them in great detail kind of thing. But I don't know. I'm just like, man, it's fucking hard to see these. Yeah, so they're hanging out, talking for a little while, and then basically Moraine says, like, the city's not safe. I want you to stay here, but I know you're not going to listen to me. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then,
Jono.
This is the dumbest. Like, I enjoy the point of it, but from anyone thinking out loud and saying, okay, the dumbest motherfucking thing. All right, first off, again, why the fuck are they there? Secondly, they're in an inn, as is confirmed later. There's no one else in this inn. There's no innkeeper. There's no other people. Who the fuck is
it's Basil Gill.
They killed everybody at the end.
They killed it. Like, what the fuck is this? They just rented a private house that they actually call an inn. And like, it's utterly insane. Like just say like, wait, we Airbnb'd it. It's all right. We've got it for the fucking weekend, and the guy's in the basement.
It is a little crazy.
Utterly insane. And then they say like, hey, safe's not possible anymore. And they're like, yeah, we learned that in Fallen. And then immediately like, well, all right, well, given that, let's fuck all off. And again,
let's see you later.
But the characters aren't supposed to be 18 anymore, right? In the original, it's 18-year-old boys that are going off and doing dumb shit.
I mean, she doesn't say, what the fuck is going on?
She literally says, let's, stay fucking close and all that. And then they'd be like, well, I gotta go get blasted. I'm gonna go do this. They're 25. Yeah. One of them's married and has divorced in a very messy way by murder. They've been through shit. It's just nonsensical to some degree. Especially if you carry your dumbass horn around with you. One character.
Okay, John. Okay,
but other than that, I mean, I like the idea of this scene. I do. Other than just
Rand, when they leave, Rand's like, "Hey, don't stop following me. I'm the car," and they're like, "Not yet, bud."
Yeah.
Not yet, bud.
Yeah, she laughed when he said, "You have to do what I say." That was good.
Yeah, if I'm in charge.
Oh, another thing, Aiel just walking around. That doesn't happen.
Yeah, and no one's making it. There's no uproar about
this
it.
is crazy, by the way. Yeah, this is crazy. It's not fucking like Falm or just middle of nowhere, and it's gonna be a long time before word gets back. This is fucking Tarvalon.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fucking Aiel walking around.
No one's like freaked out about it. That's the one of the weirdest things about this, I think.
It's so I do have a question. All right, you ready for the first installment
Well,
of what the fuck's the point of this?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Are you sure, Joe? Because I can hold.
Do
No, go
it.
ahead.
I can't hold. So what the fuck is the point of this character arc here? Perrin is a pretty like upbeat guy here. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, he feels like he's kind of just having a good time with his buddies.
Uh-huh.
And all of a sudden, so what was the point of having a wife and murdering her? Or again, murder is a little harsh. I get that.
Uh-huh.
What's the point of having? Because it felt like the onus was like the creation of like this brooding character who would just rethink everything, and I don't see that here. Season 3 Perrin. Like it doesn't feel like the quote unquote fridging of the man's wife had any payoff because he's pretty fucking goofy, pretty happy in my mind. I really like him as a character. So what the fuck was the point of it?
It's Tarvalon. You think an Aiel walking around is the weirdest thing you'll see? It's like New York. It's kind of fair.
Well, fair enough. I like that idea. But
Yeah,
then they
I enjoy that perspective. That actually makes it feel
Yeah.
a little better.
Yeah.
There's a naked cowboy playing a guitar. There's some Aiel.
Yeah.
Sure, it makes sense. And there's Elmo jerking off in the corner.
Or Mario and Luigi jerking on the corner, or Luigi.
Oh, we don't
excuse me.
know. We don't know.
If you go to Dragon Con. Anyway, so that's my first installment. Taffy,
Yes.
your thoughts on that?
On your first installment?
Of what the fuck's the point of that character? Like, as in this, like this arc. Why did we take the time to give Perrin a wife, butcher her? We're going to cut his ring off soon. And yet, in the meantime, he really seems, other than briefly, he doesn't seem brooding. He doesn't seem like that's where they were trying to go with it.
I think it's,
Just
you know,
seems like a normal guy.
that there's a term, whistling in the dark.
Yes.
I don't know if that necessarily applies to it, but it's like they've all been through so much for what is a year now, and they've had a little time. Like I guess it took like a month for them to get to Tarvalon on the ship. I'm assuming it was Bail Doman who brought them back. They didn't say that though, but
All the way up
like,
the River Aaron and just missed
so
here by
they're
12
having
miles.
they're having a little time of like they know that they have to get back down to business again, maybe split ways. Perrin already has it in his mind that he wants to go home. So they're
Well, actually,
like,
he says
they're
he
just
wants to all stay together right now. I'm sorry, I interrupted.
Oh, you
That's
did?
another thing that really pissed me off. They're like, we're safe's not possible. Let's stay together. And then in the
This
end of
is funny about that scene because it's
Oh,
like,
it's-
let's all
that
stay
jumps
together. And
pretty
then after the
fast.
bubbles of evil, they're just like, never mind.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
Let's split up.
But anyway, but I interrupted you, Taffy. I'm sorry.
No, I just feel like they were giving the characters a reprieve and then also us to just have a little lightness, a little fun, a little just the boys hanging out, but also they're almost overdoing it a little bit because they know that some shit's going to be going down soon. So it's kind of like, I don't, that's just kind of how I read it. Like,
Yeah.
They're enjoying Matt going overboard. And Matt, of course, he's being tormented by, you know, the memories and the screams and everything. But he's also going, like, it's almost like if you've had a really bad couple weeks or something, and then you go out and party and you go kind of crazy, like you go a little overboard with the happiness and jokes. And I don't know, that's kind of how I read it.
This is actually the only time I actually laughed in my entire life. The rest is infinite sadness. So that's why I do this show. But that being said, yeah, I get that. I think
Yes.
yes.
Yes. Every
Yes.
week when you hang out with your best friends, Joe and Tom,
And
for
Taffy.
years and years and years, and now me, it's a break from all the bullshit you've been dealing with all week long, sometimes right up until you start the show. So I guess that's kind of what I'm talking about.
No, I get it. So it can be explained away, but it also just feels sometimes like And that being said, I'm a guy, and I don't know what the fuck I would do if I were in the middle of a situation like this where it was, sorry, I'm burping and drunk, like regulated, like what the fuck you're supposed to do, and I were just alone in a city. Let's go get hammered. I don't know if I'd be able to resist, considering the fact that I can't resist the film. So who knows?
Imagine you're hanging out with Joe and Tom. You guys would definitely go and get wasted. You've been right. You've been through all kinds of shit. All kinds of crazy stuff has happened. You finally had some time to hang out on a boat together. You know you guys are going to get into some shit again, and some bad stuff's going to be happening.
I can tell you what happened. We would
just
sit outside whatever person's house and or hotel room. Tom and Joe would smoke. All three of us would get blasted really fucking fast. And then we'd sing random songs for a bit. And then talk about the Wheel of Time while we were really drunk. And then talk about how dumb we are. And then Tom would pass out. Then I would pass out. And Joe would stay awake. And that is how that would go.
Yes. And Joe would be on the phone with my husband till 4:30 in the morning.
Shockingly.
It's not Saturday. It could have been Friday. Yeah. Also, hello, Otto. So anyway,
so I don't know. That's just kind of where I don't know. I'm also trying to go along with it and accept it for what it is, the show, instead of
let's move to the next point.
Even the thing with Lanfear and Moraine and Lan. When I first saw that, I'm like, what the fuck is this bullshit? And then I'm like, wait a minute. They have to show things visually. This is a TV show. And they have to like move things along in a different way. They're making things happen. Like I have to like kind of school myself not to be so, to kind of make like shit. Moraine's afraid. She's probably terrified of Lanfear. So,
but she's not going to say
no.
Did it feel like that? Let's talk about this thing, like this weirdness that is like only that the Forsaken are immortal, and they can be killed by a power wrought blade, similar to what the King of Malkier has, and that's what Lan has. Does it feel like Moraine is terrified of Lanfear? Really, she's willing to bargain, and yes, maybe afraid, but terrified feels a little hard to me.
I think that terrified is under the surface, and I think that she knows she has some kind of a mutual like working relationship with Lanfear because they both have their number one priority is Rand, and that's something that she knows. They both know that about each other. So, but she still would probably be afraid to tell Lanfear, no, I'm not going to let you create a bubble of evil and hurt these kids. Like,
but she doesn't create a bubble of evil. Like she just, I
think that's supposed to be the thing that happens.
Is it instead just? We don't really get an explanation. Like the kid, maybe it isn't.
Right.
Is it?
And I thought that even the
weaves?
kid.
I don't know. I really don't have an answer. So
and I always kind of wondered. Okay, I still haven't been able to be sure. Can other people who can't channel see? But then, can other people see the weaves? And the only instance where that would be like
with Nynaeve.
Maybe like with a Nynaeve. Well, Nynaeve maybe, but she was distracted by the gray man. But then there's also Egwene.
Yeah.
So if there was any kind of woman channeling, then Egwene would have seen it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe what if she's using the true source?
True power.
The true power, sorry. Yeah, what if she's using the true power? And so, because she did use that to come back to life. When she does this thing with her, there was the saw in her eyes. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, and then she goes like this, and it's the black ooze comes from behind her, and she restores herself with it. Yeah, it's all over her neck. And it's on her lower back. Yeah. And she got a tattoo of it.
Got a tattoo of it?
Yeah. So I don't know. That was the only thing that I was thinking is maybe but I don't know if that's possible or not.
Nor do I. And also, so the problem becomes this, and problem is definitely not a real problem, but like what you and I think is true from books doesn't necessarily translate 1-to-1 to the show because
Right.
it's something slightly different on a, if you think it's a retelling, then it's that. If you think it's fan fiction, it's that. And if you think it's
Yeah.
bullshit,
Well,
then
that's
you're
the
a
only thing I
negative
couldn't
Nancy.
figure out. If Lanfear was making those things happen and it wasn't a bubble of evil, because if it was a bubble of evil, those things would happen. It would have nothing to, it wouldn't have to be manipulated.
So Lanfear, I found out, went to Shia Ghul, burped, but looking at a map, and that was the bubble. That's what
Okay,
happened.
thank you for explaining it to me because I couldn't figure it out. Wow, that's really cool. Thanks, Jono. I had no idea.
Just stare at a map and burp, and this weird
I feel
shit
so
that happens.
relieved. Thank you.
You know who else does?
It's also clear
Lanfear.
to me.
Huge burp.
Wow, wouldn't you know what? And I don't care how much they put her in stuff she doesn't need to be. This chick is so good. The chick who plays, I mean, when she's speaking, like she's just like a scene stealer. She is awesome. I don't care.
There are a few
She's
characters that
great.
are definitely like. I think Logain was like the guy who played Logain, fucking crazy.
Yeah, he's really good too.
Lanfear, like, she's not quite my image of her, but her acting, fuck yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Also, Leandrin. I think Leandrin, like at one point when she was like in the tower and like had been accused, she did this like close her eyes and like she's got like this bizarre cheek structure. I don't know how to fucking say it. Like a lantern jaw in a good way, I guess.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That like
she
crazy.
Looks formidable. She looks like you wouldn't want to fuck with her.
And then the fourth one that really gets to me, Swan. Every time I look at her, I think of the time that she lost her virginity to Ace Ventura.
Right in the hut, yes, and every time, yes, and how she was spitting, spitting pieces of straw or at that guy on the pole.
At her own brother. Yeah,
yeah. That wasn't
her brother.
Do you think everybody knows that she did that? Like on the way to Tarvalon?
We just watched that movie.
Is that a weird move though?
Do you think her dad knows she didn't go straight to Tarvalon? That she stopped and she was having sex with Ace Ventura when she was a teenager.
You gotta
before
have a
she went to Tarvalon.
Have a little fun.
Yeah, she didn't marry the other tribe. Very disappointing. She actually had sex with the Quinceañera, which is what they call a white devil.
Oh,
yeah.
That guy is hot. The white devil's hot.
Yeah. Into my hair like that.
So good.
That being said, I could watch Ace Ventura 1 or 2.
It's all coming back to me now. Yeah.
Anyway, Joe, we were just talking about Ace Ventura.
What was the nitpick? Is it the fact
that they went what is that?
Yeah. Is it
the fact that they traveled right by Tyr?
Yeah. Well, their map's different. So they took
you warned me when my parents were about to walk in my room. Ace Ventura has issues with the White Cloaks and how they treat wolves. That's true.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'll bet.
Oh, she said the Aiel were on the boat.
Oh, okay.
That's a thing, but is it like
very?
They weren't gonna not go with him though.
Over in that highlight, but
it is definitely something that should be like at least mentioned, though, right? Like I get
like it was nothing. Water guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's true.
It's in the ocean.
Well, maybe that was the whole thing of Avi ended up refusing to choose only up on the deck. That like
no, they didn't. They did not talk about that shit.
Did they talk about it? No, I don't think they did.
Fascination with all the water was why she was up on deck all the time, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like they'd be uneasy about it, but I don't feel like they would be like, I'm not getting on that fucking thing. You know what I mean?
Some of them are. Some of them are.
Because they had their whole shit moment when they were going into Falm, and they're like, "What the fuck? That's all ocean? Like, that's all water? Like, maybe that was like their mind was blown there, and then they're
now you're going further. Now you're going hundreds of miles, most of which, if you're actually trying to go quickly, you're away from land at all. Note, I keep looking at my fucking map here. There is no way, unless you literally hug the coast to go from Falm to south, because you don't need to go northeast briefly.
Yeah, again, like they're in awe of it. They're not scared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
they talk about the fact that there's like all of a sudden the idea of being just surrounded by water, no land in sight. And that was one thing further for Avienda, who is notoriously brave and trying to swallow her cum
I think the comment is true in the fact they should have at least talked about it. They should have just been like, "Hey, remember when you were so freaked out on the goddamn?" But like, just a throwaway line of dialogue would have been plenty.
As always, the comment section is on point. You know who's not? Tom. Tom hasn't said shit.
Yeah, Tom hasn't said a goddamn word about this. I'm shocked by that.
Dick.
Anyway, I was having trouble uploading images. That has now passed.
So have I.
Oh, good job, Joe. Thank you.
That's why I was gone. You know.
So yeah, thank you for coming back to this. This is also the dumbest fucking thing.
I didn't mind this. I thought it was funny.
What are you talking about? It's the fucking thing of legend. A man who knows that he needs to.
I think it's pretty spelled out in the next episode that he's an idiot and should be hiding it. Why isn't Moraine?
That's your fucking plan.
Is it more like, don't fucking take the horn around? Telling me the horn around.
Rand and Perrin, who at least have some sort of like, yeah, look at this dick for. What's a dick for? Pooping. Like, these guys are both just sitting there giggling around with them. Like, it's the dumbest fucking thing.
I don't know.
This is absurd.
Didn't care? Is that weird?
Yes, it's weird. You're an idiot.
All right, man. That's fine. That's fair.
But I love you. I love you.
You know, it's fair.
Yeah. Anyway, I think it's absurd. I think it's just terrible writing. At that point, like, if you told me this, like, this is cool. I like this. I assume.
I mean, I know somebody personally that's done that a couple times, and it's way better.
I feel like that was that artist, that poster originally, it was because people actually saw that happening, but nobody even saw Ishmael on the tower top. There's no way anybody could be. He was like in the middle of it. Nobody could have even seen
that.
That
would.
I'm guessing like that was a
Rand is then maybe like telling them about it, which is even worse.
No, I think that like that was a plant. Like, somebody had that drawn and had it passed around to.
Were there taller towers in that city? Was there anything above that? Maybe there's just rich people looking down, going, "Oh my goodness!"
we should have an artist rendition of this.
Fetch the artist. Fetch the.
But then it gets the question of how long have they been there, right? Like, how long have
all we know is that
there.
It's been a month. But we don't know how long they've been there. I guess not that long. It seems like not that long.
You wouldn't think so, right? I mean, it still takes a raker.
Just long enough to rent out an entire inn and pretend like you own the place, which entails wandering around in the middle of the night, just rummaging through cabinets and getting whatever wine you want.
Oh, right.
Which for me and Matt Cawthon, not very long. Most people are very amenable to my drunken shenanigans.
I mean, anal-eatable.
That's what I said.
Yes.
Anyway, Moraine's hanging out with Marin for a second. Oh, did you guys want to talk about this more? Sorry.
No.
I mean, that's cool. That's cool that when they put these little things in.
I do kind of like seeing them hang out for 5 seconds.
I like that. I like that a lot.
That was fun. That was fun. Like, it was fun just seeing the characters, Rand, Matt, and Perrin specifically, just kind of dicking around and drinking with each other, because they did that a little bit in season 1 and 2. So it's like I don't know. It's kind of fun to just be like.
I'm very in favor of that, because to a certain extent, like, they don't spend time together. They don't really seem friendly. This is a very good piece to my mind, except for the stupidity of getting yourself drawn and yelling yourself, "I'm the hornblower."
Why did Moraine and Lan not take the horn? That's an excellent question.
It's a great question, especially considering it takes next time on episode 2 of tWoTcast. We'll talk about that, because it takes zero fucking time.
This episode.
Yeah, I know, but on
the next episode of the show, you mean?
Yeah.
Where did the horn come from? A hero disappeared. That's an excellent question. Wait, did he not have that?
No, she took it. She went like this and then took it. So I don't know.
Well, after they all faded away, it just fell into the ground like
dunk, 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 dunk.
Just cling, cling, cling.
Yeah.
What is this? A weird fish face?
The fact that they doubled down on the fucking horn itself, I guess it's already
random
done.
Tarvalon resident. Look at that idiot who bought one of those fake horns for selling on the streets and thinks he's famous now.
So
That's a solid fucking point.
Yeah, I never even thought of that.
That is solid.
I have thought about that like several times.
He's just bragging about it like an idiot, but like maybe that's the best. Like maybe Moraine and Lan are like, just let it hide and play it sight, because no one will fucking believe that he's the hornblower.
they mentioned several times like you could buy the horn here or here or here. Like there's like all these kind of like bullshit, but at the same time, like this is going too far. He's calling himself the horn sound. Why? Like hiding amongst the masses makes sense. Hiding amongst like the idiots who are trying to like sell bullshit.
Liam,
just
get your
feels-
shit together.
Liam,
Get
if
over-
you need to go to MySpace/tWoTcast.
Yeah, get over to myspace.com/tWoTcast. The new Twitter of time is where you get all your news about the show and everything that's coming around. The whole community is over there. We abandoned Twitter /X. We don't like it. Also, Blue Sky, it never even got started. It's all about myspace.com/singwithtaffy. It's the new
I
place.
think
Yes, I
Liam
know.
may have forgotten to have also turned his clock forward. He sprang nowhere. That's okay.
That's okay, Liam. Now you just have to
There are
put
things called
notifications
humans
on.
books that spread news. Oh, that's true.
What else did they spread?
It's a common
Dysentery?
misconception that they're pigeons. They're actually owls. Everything they send all their news by owl.
Yeah. Again, you know what this is a ripoff of?
Like Varen will just be like, Owlgram. And gets their
I
news.
don't know why that made me happy.
Twitter is fake news. MySpace is the real thing.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I'm
Yeah.
in Australia, you Yankee Cub. Very fair.
First off, fair.
You should really go log on to myspace.com/tWoTcast and find all the latest news. All right. So anyway, the dumb. All right, we're seeing with the drawings. We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More than
All right, Moiraine's talking to Varen briefly. I don't remember what the conversation was about. Do you guys?
it doesn't matter. This is probably one of the most like, inconsequential conversations that's happened since I had talks with my wife.
She was
Yeah.
talking. They were talking about
Yes.
Rand and how she's like,
Right.
how well do you? Something about how well do you? That conversation was a
Oh,
little
like
weird.
how well do you know somebody? Or like
Yeah, because she's like, I
is
thought
it
I
more
knew
important to be weary
Naomi,
about
and
be
I've
wary
known her
about
since
the-
she was
the
a
him going
girl.
mad thing?
Pull it back up.
Yeah.
Look how long Land's hair is. Like I don't like this is our
Huh?
first time seeing it.
Oh, come on! You had me there. I really thought he had some long ass
It's a really long
ponytail.
ponytail.
Yeah, but that is actually
Like a
long.
horse.
Like, so he's not just wearing a Hidori; he's wearing like a second Hidori tail.
That screenshot is cool looking. It looks like a painting.
Mm-hmm.
I
Doesn't
do
it?
think that like Moraine's fucking cool. I think
Yeah.
that she does a very good job. Not all of her characteristics I 100% am in on, but I think
Uh-huh.
she kind of does a great job of just like this is
It's about
what culture looks
Adelaide.
on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Has anybody?
okay.
I mean, I certainly
I thought it
have.
was about-
Have you guys
she-
been like paying it and like extra attention to what Varen says to be like, there it is, or like kind of thing, or any?
A little
like that?
bit, yeah.
So,
I have not. I was just.
I
Asking.
have a
been
problem
trying.
listening to women.
Alamail, hair and nail.
Hair and mail. The stores were standard issue for delivery riders.
Okay.
Oh, that's what that was. That's where those came from. We did get this real quick. I thought it was really cool. Just a quick little playing Snakes and Foxes.
Yeah.
Nope.
Nope.
You don't like it? Why not?
Oh, it's not Snakes and Foxes. Look at it.
It's Shoots and Letters.
No, that is again leatherback. That's made of dragon foreskin,
Oh,
and I have nothing else. I apologize
Wow.
for interrupting. Next song.
We got this fucking scene, which I love Lanfear. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I want her in the show, but it's fucking really. I have a really hard time with Moraine and Lan just casually having a conversation with fucking Lanfear.
When I apologize. I listen to myself sometimes, and I realize how much time I say so I'll change that to
I like it.
the amount of fucking weirdness that this Machiavellian like Moraine puts up with to not befriend but to tolerate her, and for Lan to do it too really
Yeah.
feels kind of
Right.
too much, a little too much for me.
Yeah. So anyway, White Blind Fold gave us a little catch up on the Naomi or the conversation with.
Yeah, for the Naomi, what
Aaron
happened with
and
Adelaus?
It happened because Varen
Um,
had the measure of Naomi, and then asked if Moraine had the measure of Rand. and not
By the way, so
necessarily the
Rand
dragon.
measures-
You believe in the Dragon Reborn, but do you believe in Rand Althor? And I really
Rand-
like that little no.
Rand measures about here.
I
And
thought it
what
was
would
more
Rand
about.
know?
I didn't
What
know it was
Rand did
about
is Rand showed up and said,
Adelius.
"I can help make your plans happen, or you could be my enemy." I feel like she'd probably not do anything.
Yeah.
She knows she would get killed immediately.
She'd
Yeah.
embrace it and then balefire her. Like she would embrace it and then just say like, "Oh, okay, yeah, thumbs up," and then let
I mean, I feel like
Rand
she
know.
was
Yeah,
loose,
she
yeah.
would.
I kind of feel like she's, well, at least show Moiraine is using Lanfear to help protect Rand
Mm-hmm.
from the
Well,
other
Lan even
Forsaken.
goes in this scene. Lan goes, "We can't trust her," and she's like, "Yeah, idiot."
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, great.
Yeah.
Look at that. I go back to that. She's adjusting her crotch.
She's just
Well,
And
yeah.
she
I
has
mean,
itchy pubis or decent sized penis, by the way.
either.
Look
Yeah.
at that. Look at that. We get a little bit of the girls hanging out before interrupted by the Amirlan, who I guess knows where they're staying.
This
Johnny,
is
you said this
ridiculous.
hilarious thing to me. Like, you thought Sawan was just like at the inn with them, and I was like,
I did.
Your mind. She's
In fairness,
there
again,
is.
Swan
It is weird. Yeah.
It's bizarre. It's bizarre. Swan just walks into this inn, just kind of like, "Oh, hey guys." That's not the way this should fucking work. These people are in hiding. These people are. The reason that Swan was overthrown almost was because of Rand, because of Moiraine, because of the combination of all that. And she just walks in like, "Oh,
Yeah.
hey, there's no innkeeper," because why would an inn have that?
That would
But
be
yeah, pour me a
insane.
drink.
Everyone knows
What?
inns don't have innkeepers.
I'm sorry. Apologies. Dumb.
Maybe
Like, if you
maybe
wanna
that's
fucking
maybe
set
that's
scene,
a
do
house
that.
that Moiraine owns, and that's why
They
Swan knew
said
where they
it's
would
an inn.
be. Oh, it's an inn.
They said
Okay.
it's an
I do
I
love that
checked.
Moraine's just like hanging out and like, what are they talking about?
That reminded me of when Otto's
That's
having a
hilarious.
cute moment with like our kids, and he's doing something with them, and I'm like listening, and I'm like, oh, it's so cute. He's talking to the children.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Also, speaking of Otto, there's gonna be some autoerotic asphyxiation later.
What time? Soon?
At this rate, 12:40.
So this conversation is essentially, Elaine, you're coming to the tower. Fuck off. And she leaves and then talks to them. And then she's basically like, Egwene, if you leave, you're never coming back to the tower. She's like, fine, I'll take your fucking test. You know? I was like, God damn, all right. You grew some balls.
Yeah, she did.
I think the balls are grown too much.
I like the speeding along of that arc. I think it's fine. Oh wow, how did you even see what? One of the balcony scenes, a gray man in a window across the street, just a white blur of zoomed in.
Oh, cool. Okay.
DK.
And then they just said, how did you even see it?
Yeah, seriously. Good point.
The end is abandoned feeling. I get
Yeah, it does.
I mean,
It
it's
is.
stocked with, wine
People.
and shit. I guess it's just
You might be a drunk if that's your response.
Well, that's the only thing he's like rooting through the cupboards for. But yeah, I guess there is a lot of empty vessels in that.
Then don't call it an inn. If they had just said like
Just
this
say,
abandoned
just
house,
say,
or something
use a
like-
modern word like safe house, and we'll all be fine. Like none of us would have blinked it in. Like
Yeah.
it's a term like that.
yeah, it feels like a victim of their own stupidity.
The Kipper's bone skinning. just Tom's in the background smoking outside the whole time.
There's no food. There's no food, but there's plenty of alcohol.
It's the inn of requirement. It's everything to rip off Harry Potter, as we all.
Do you and Jenny do it though?
Oh, the testing.
Oh, I hated this. The fact that she just like argued for this. You just
Well, I don't think. Should she argue for it, or did they say like?
yeah,
you're
she pretty much has been a middle finger in her face for the last this entire episode. She being Egwene, face being the Princess of the Waishutu of Ace Ventura 2. It's
I thought
very
Swan said, "If you come back to the tower tonight, you can take the test." Like, just like
yeah,
offered it.
and she does it in the most arrogant fucking way.
Well, that
And
I
I
agree with.
love a queen. I love a queen, but this is not for me.
All right. Well, before that, I'm sorry, I jumped ahead a little tiny bit. I don't know what this conversation's about. I don't remember. But then we have
Do you have the picture?
Elaine flirting in the streets with Amanda.
Oh,
We have
flirting is
Loyal
flirting.
trying to go over the prophecies with Rand, and then Elaine comes in to say, the Aiel are going to be your army if you embrace that kind of part of your lineage, I guess, or whatever you are to them.
The conversation with Lan and Nynaeve was about, he was asking her how it was in the rings. And how, like if they were happy or not.
Going there. Yeah. He's like, I know.
Do you have that?
How was it for you?
Do you have that picture I sent?
It's later. It's during the Bubble of Evil. Right?
Oh, it's later. Yeah. Sorry.
Yes, that's a very important
I'm ready to
photo.
go.
Yes.
I'm ready to go.
I'm only pertinent, as you know.
I do like Loyal. I do like Loyal going over the prophecies with him. It is a little crazy when Elaine comes in and it's just like, hey, get the fuck out of here, Builder.
Right.
That's some shit to talk to him about. I don't know. It's a little weird. Let's see what comments are saying. I'm not catching. I'm very distracted comments tonight, by the way. Chat.
No, you're doing great.
Chat.
Egwene does what she wants. Swan's going through a lot right now. She probably just decided to let this one go.
Maybe.
That's
She
true.
got
She got this.
It's a lot of big personalities with all these kids.
Go ahead, Taffy.
No, I'm sorry. I spoke over Jono.
Okay, Jono.
Why would you do that? Oh, because people should.
I'm a sexist bitch.
Yay, good for you. So it's a very strange thing. Like when I first watched this, I was like, the fucking coup just happened. The tower just broke, and this woman is staying in this inn, and she's just walking around. I'm like, okay, that's not what happened. All right. It's very amorphous, though. It's very strange what the fuck has just happened. It's a fake, or not a fake coup. It's an attempted coup that didn't work, but also showed giant fissures in my rectum. And like, here's where we are. And yet, it's just, what the fuck is going through Swan's mind at this point has to be very just uncomfortable.
I think Swan is going, I need people I can trust. Mm-hmm. I need Egwene to take this test so I can trust Nynaeve and only Egwene and Nynaeve. And that's it, I think. But so that's why I think Swan's taken aback when she's like, fuck you after the test, because she's like, fuck, I needed you as a hound, like kind of thing. Like, but I think she's offering it to Egwene in this moment to get her tied to the tower so she can use her for the Black Asha hunt. That's my interpretation of what's going on in that scene. I think it's logical.
For a man.
Yeah, we know.
Well, maybe she also knows that Egwene will probably want to leave with Rand, and she wants her tied to the tower as an accepted.
Or I mean, like I said, that's very possible. Maybe she just wants Egwene tied to the tower, period. But I really think it's like she's already doing the thing in her brain of like, I need minions.
Yeah.
So do you want? It can wait. And I want to finish earlier than we have, but at the same time, do you want to do the what the fuck's his character about part 2, or do we want to wait for a minute?
Let's hear you.
Oh yeah, what do you have to say?
Go for it.
What the fuck is this character about Nynaeve versus Egwene? At this point, Nynaeve in the last, especially into the next episode, too soon on that. This one beforehand, she doesn't heal. She doesn't have that anger, insanity. She's not the Nynaeve we fucking know. Meanwhile, Egwene is healing. She's all fuck you to the tower, as we're going to see in this episode. She is very much like, there's no fuck you towards Moraine, which is very much a book Nynaeve thing. But these characters are radically fucking different. I'm not saying it's bad or wrong. I'm just saying that they're radically fucking different.
Right.
Think about where Egwene is. All she wants to do is become a fucking Aes Sedai and learn everything she can at this point in books 3/4. Okay. Whereas Nynaeve, all she wants to do is save the Emmons Field group, and fuck you to the tower. 0 for 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joe, go. What the
Uh,
fuck's the point of this character?
of Nynaeve?
I love that I've made this entire thing that comes as a soliloquy, followed by you not getting a real response to chat.
I don't know. I've had problem. I had problems in episode 1 or episode / season is annoying the fuck out of me tonight. Anyway, season 1, the last episode, when Egwene's the one who heals Nynaeve, that bothered me. I was like, why not just make that Nynaeve? Like, she's the healer. Like, that should be her story. Like, make Egwene get burnt out and have Nynaeve have this emotional moment, kind of thing. And they kind of did the same thing in season 2. They just kind of like her wrap up was really lame, and just kind of like, I'm just gonna carry around a lane with a crossbow bolt through her fucking leg or whatever, kind of thing. Like, nothing really happened with her.
Right.
Yeah.
And so far, all we've seen her do is kind of like go like this in the tower and be like, oh, I can't channel, and like they're not even explaining the block. They just show she has a problem. I guess I would only say like Nynaeve is more willing to stay at the tower and learn because she knows she has to get over her block to be of use to anyone. And that's why she's like more in the subservient. Like, I'll go along with what the tower / Amirlan say versus Egwene. It was like in the I trained with a goddamn Shan Chan. I'm awesome. I do also have PTSD, but I'm gonna kick ass. So like, I don't know. It makes sense and it doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Swan has a different approach to everyone. That's true.
I don't know. I agree with you, Jono. But I think it's just pushing the show plot forward, I guess. Her whole thing right now is Matt is bringing her and Matt together, for Matt to be with the girls, so they go to Tanchico together, so yeah. And then that makes him laugh too. But I mean, like, he's counting on Nynaeve to, if they're really focusing on the whole, how she's still very devoted to them. She's going to help whichever one she can, whoever she ends up with. And Matt's actively asking her for help. So she's like, okay, you know what? I can't channel. I can't control.
At the very least,
power.
I can help you with the tower.
Yeah. That's why I think with the Black Aja hunt, she's like instantly like, this is something I can do. This is something I can,
right.
do well.
I'm fascinated. Again, I'm burping and you're drunk. But like, I'm fascinated by the idea that like, move the plot forward, right? To a certain extent, obviously that is extremely important. But there's this weird thing where like, what's more important to you? The plot? Like, what do you call plot, right? To a certain extent, is it A, B, C, D, E, F? Or is it the journey from A to B, B to C, C to U, U to N, N to T? Like what moves the fucking needle for you? And it's a legitimate question. I'm not trying to say it's either or.
Yeah.
It's anyway,
Well, the books never really gave us what would be more realistic for trauma and reaction to the authority after her Shan Chan experience.
I don't think that's wrong.
She does go to the tower and wants to come an Aes Sedai initially to be able to kill Moraine, but then just for recognition. Okay. I mean,
I think that's actually a very good point about.
Don't worry about it. The Black Aja has a tell, Jono.
Always wins. Any joke about the tell?
It's cracked where you can tell they've thrown somebody against it and then shattered it and then put it right back together.
By the way, I apologize. I've been talking too much, and we probably should go to the next one soon. All
right, Egwene's the only bit we get. We've talked about this a little bit.
It's weird we only get one.
I don't mind that, just for brevity. Like, did you really want to go through all of them again? Like,
kind of, yeah.
I mean, I kind of did too, but at the same time, I get it. It's a television show. We need to move forward. And then I do love
more yellow than I respect. For a famous actor now, he probably needs to go to see a dentist. I don't know what type of dentistry they have there. A little yellow. They're not bad. They're probably better than mine.
I think there's blood in there, I do love all the blood in the water. Like that's because
You know what that
as it
is?
pans backwards, like it's kind of gone. Like it's gone pretty quickly. Like so, like he's
So
just
he's downstream of
Oh,
a
yeah.
bunch of women.
he probably murdered a. Woo! He probably murdered a shitload of
Dead
people.
women who are
and
on
then,
the theories.
and then just like gatewayed out of there. Just
Yeah.
hanging out.
Okay.
Just gateway to a river to wash his blood off his hands.
So, by the way, I don't know if you know this. There was this interesting advertisement from Brandon Sanderson's Not Real Stuff, where instead of getting on, if you don't use a tampon or anything, you just put a small gateway between your legs. You just send that blood somewhere else. Sponsored by Androl. Oh,
right.
Twice in a row?
We're back. We're back.
Fair enough.
How do you think they look? I think they look pretty cool.
Also, do you think Androl has to wear a condom?
No. He just channels a tiny little gateway in front of his pee hole.
You get that wrong. You've fucked something up.
You get that wrong. He knows what he's doing.
On the other hand, look, you could fucking facial someone from a mile away.
Right.
Anyway.
Rand has a quick conversation with Moraine about how you can't tell me what to do anymore. He's in charge now, guys. I don't know if you knew that. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
And then we get the quick Egwene going like, "Hey, fuck off! I'm leaving." Miriel's like,
Oh, there we go.
"Oh, we're not there yet." We're in the Miriel's like, "What the?"
Quizzical eyebrow, by the way. She can lift that thing higher than I can do my Kegels. Half an inch.
No.
I hated this. From a book point of view, I hated this. Bravo for the character. Hated this. Does the Amirlan have no authority? Like, it's just. This is a fucking novice now accepted, giving the middle finger. That's not mode.
I'm assuming they mean this one closer to the column.
Oh, there is something in window number 2.
There?
Number 2. That's a deep.
Man, yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Oh,
Good fucking work, whoever spotted that. Oh, by her hand. What am I missing? Well, now I don't know what I'm looking for. By her hand.
her vagina.
All right. Well, I'm not sure.
I think it's supposed to be the window right past her. Although
It's the
both
one
windows
right
look like they
by
have
her.
something.
I don't know.
Okay,
We're
I mean,
gonna
I
look at it again. We're looking at it again.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like there's something there, and it looks like there's
Oh, like
something
it
in
through the
second one, too.
diamonds? Jesus
Yeah, through the
Christ.
diamonds.
Who the fuck saw that?
I don't know.
God
The
damn.
diamond.
Okay.
I mean, and how do they enlarge that? Do they have access to like 4K images or something? Like, are they getting direct downloads from Sony sent to them
Very far
through
window.
it?
All right, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
Sony
John?
sends me weird stuff all the time.
Oh, okay.
It's mainly dick pics. I don't know.
The
Oh,
one
all
in
right.
the window in the back is dark at first in the shot, then you see it go white, gray, then back to black.
Oh, like with the when it's a moving image. Okay.
You just see enhance.
Oh, that's it.
Enhance. Anyway,
All right. So
Okay.
next song.
so before Bubble of Evil, we get a little nighttime scene with.
It looks like her nipple, right? I
I
sent
don't know
this
what
text.
you explain yourself. His thumbnail?
Look above
It's
the sword.
it's his thumb knuckle into his finger. It's actually not his thumb. It's like Jono says. It's a big, huge nipple.
Like the bulbous part of his thumb. on
Yeah,
the top
just
of the
look
blade?
at it.
yeah.
Just
He
just above the blade. It
He
looks like
needs
he's
it.
got a big old tit.
Well, he needs a large nipple like that so
I
he can
can't say I agree
control
with
it.
you.
How do you not see that?
I mean, it's funny. I see what you're saying. I just didn't see that, and I still. I mean, I can see it if I'm like telling myself to see that. But like,
Apparently, I'm telling myself you sent that, and I was like, "Oh, it's perfect. That looks like a fucking nipple." Like just like a big pink nipple on the middle.
Anyway, Lan tells Nynaeve about the sword of his father, and that he's a king and all that. I mean, she kind of knew that, right?
Yeah, we already knew that.
Saw it right away.
Oh my god! It looks
Thank
like
you.
those
Thank
old timey like big rubber ones that they have in the Warner Brother cartoons.
Yes.
Well, it's so he can nurse baby Trollocs. He needs a big old titty like that.
Fuck yes. Well, I just got wet.
Anyway. Nynaeve's talking to Lan. I mean, it's a long conversation, but basically they're just like, we love each other, like a lot.
So much.
And then Matt plays Maiden's Kiss, which I loved. Jono, your thoughts on Maiden's Kiss? / they're all getting
Actually, I think it's well
loaded.
done. I think it's well done. It sounds. I don't feel swayed that that Bane and Chiad are scary, intimidating. Like just the way they've comported themselves through this episode or the next episode. It doesn't feel fully like deadly Aiel. That being said, guess what they can do? Regardless, they don't have to move. They just put a fucking spear at this guy's throat.
They're not veiled at any point. I feel like when they are veiled, it is a little more like intimidating, I guess. You know?
Do you know what Bail Doman calls it when he puts on a condom?
And then Elaine makes out with Amanda. / more than that. They scissor or something. They probably scissor.
So Tom hasn't watched an episode as far as we know.
No. There's two things we texted him about this episode. Jono immediately hits Tom with Elaine makes out with Ambi and then they fuck or something along those lines.
This is her, and this is her.
and this is her. And then like the next day I was like, oh, also little Moraine just hangs out with Lan on a balcony with Lanfear. And through our sarcastic bullshit that is our continuous text that we've had for a couple of decades, you could easily kind of think that probably didn't happen, but John just follows up with both of these things actually happened. You'd hate this. It's a threefold pussy. Jesus Christ.
That's always been the best point, right? Like, I mean, like it's literally folds, right? It's amazing, cool fucking thing.
Fun fact, the actors that played Bane and Chiad came up with the idea of how to introduce Maiden's Kiss, and the writers were like, yeah, no notes.
Oh, that's cool.
I liked it.
I think it was one of the most organic things in a very positive way that they've fucking done.
Thank you.
I thought it was great.
Yeah. So that happens.
What'd you think of that? Like, it felt inevitable, but at the same time, it doesn't add anything.
I don't know. I think it's a really good way to solve the riddle of how to make them so close. I thought it was actually really well done and a good idea.
I think first off, I think all lesbian sex, when done with the right people, great idea.
Yes.
Some of
I don't know.
They're kind of backwards walking into Rand ends up with three girls.
I don't want to watch Joe's lesbian sex with Tom. What does lesbian mean?
Let's be in each other.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I do want to watch that then. Never mind. I apologize.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the Elaine Avienda thing. It didn't bother me at all. I just thought it was like
it makes
it never bothered me. Never bothered me.
It was like I said, it's a good way to get It's a good way to get to the same outcome without it seeming so like I love three women and you should all love each other, kind of thing. I don't know.
Well, it makes sense with the whole thing of like, I mean, she hasn't. For her to just be so devoted to Elaine, they needed to do that quickly.
Do you think that she's going to write
to a jealousy storyline? I hope not.
I don't think so. There's lots of fluidity happening in this show, so I think
we can see that. Like, I guess just on her thigh right now.
I changed my mind on it.
Changed
I
my
like
mind
it
on
now.
it. I like it now because it will deepen the relationship all around, in my opinion. That's
Yeah.
kind of what I'm saying. Yeah, I agree with that. It kind of seems like, well, Elaine and Amienda kind of do that eventually in the books anyway. Like they become, like it's about them becoming like first sisters or whatever, like before including Rand.
Uh-huh.
So I think, I don't know. It kind of makes sense. How the fuck are they going to fold Min into that?
I don't know.
I don't know. That
So what's
one.
that, like a,
They
is
may-
that the
they may
9
not.
land?
Rick said a few years ago that the Rand, Min, Abby, Elaine thing would be more polyamory than polygamy. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Interesting.
I think that's a better
Love.
modern
Yeah.
take on that. It makes more sense.
Yeah, it does.
I do
Alright,
like
so
that,
speaking
although
of-
it's brief, I like that we get to see the wound for a second and that it's still like disgusting
Yeah.
and just, I mean, there's no dialogue really. It's just them wrapping it up and they're like, oh, this is still not healed or whatever, that kind of thing. But like,
Normal sex.
Yeah.
at least, unlike, Aiel being scared of boats, like at least it got like a minuscule minute of like, hey, this is going to bother him later, kind of thing. So at least we got that. Matt's still up drinking, and Nynaeve comes and talks to him about his problems, and he's like, "Look, I got a lot of problems."
So let's take this like one
Division.
giant thing at a time.
Okay.
And this is why I was like, what the fuck's the point of Nynaeve? Like, what the fuck's... Matt literally looks at the cards, and like all of a sudden, I'm like, as soon as he starts dealing with the cards and they start to like move, I was like, holy shit, we're getting the bubble of evil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Matt's payoff...
Lanfear's
Well-
bubble of evil, but sure.
Well, no shit. So Matt's payoff is 0, and there's literally no point to talk about him other than he's frozen.
Is it dumb that he was just in a trance the whole time?
Yes.
Did you really want to see cards like somebody come out of a card?
Yes.
Stand up and fucking... I don't know, man. Like, I've tried to draw that, and it was hard. It made no sense. I was like, why did I say I was going to draw this?
The answer is yes. I would, if you're going to fucking take the effort to show it, then do.
Okay.
These are cool looking cards. These things have.
Yeah.
What does this do? What is the point of
I
this
think
cutting?
it's just him having the memories unfold, and he's like, again, whatever. We're going to call it Bubble of Evil, even though we know it's Lanfear. Whatever Bubble of Evil version this is, I don't mind. I like, him being like entranced and like reliving memories.
It does nothing for
like,
me.
Which is kind of his big thing right now, is that he needs to stay with Nynaeve to like figure out what's going on.
Well,
in his head. He's traumatized by
That's
it. So,
another
like,
thing. Yeah.
reliving memories and watching those cards, and they're like, and it's like battle scenes happening, in his brain.
Well, it was just
I
to
think
have
it
him
makes
distracted
sense.
so Nynaeve could be attacked by the
That
Greymen.
too, but I think it makes sense to like polarize him to be like, I need to stay, like I can't even fucking look at cards without getting like fucked up in the memory. Like my brain. John?
So Egwene and Rand, beautiful couple.
Not there yet. We got Axe first.
Oh, well, I mean, it
By the
all
way,
kind of
Aaron just got-
interspersed.
In
He
the
got
chest.
nailed with that axe two
So,
times.
like, well, what the fuck is that about? Like, the guy
I don't
gets
know,
an
but,
axe in the
like-
chest.
Yeah, that's like he's murdered somebody through armor with an axe like that, and
That would
killed his
pretty-
own wife that way.
That went in.
And he got an
Right,
axe
sunk
right in
in
his
there.
chest and did like nothing. Like he just gets back up. He's like, I'm gonna wrestle with this axe. I was like,
He's very,
holy
he's
fuck.
well, he's very
Like, at least, like,
muscular.
move
So
it up into his shoulder or something. Sorry, Taffy.
that's okay. I'm muted.
Oh, as you should
What
be,
were you
as a
gonna say?
woman. Oh, there's something going on in the background. Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay,
Well, John, what do you think?
over. That's good.
Oh, I think Taffy should respond because she's now no longer.
Yeah, what do you
What
think
did you
Taffy?
say?
About the axe? About the whole thing? I guess.
Well, the whole the sequence was cool, but when that sunk into his chest, I was like, "Holy shit, that's pretty deep." That really
It's
sunk in
crazy.
there. Like, did that go into his? Let's see, it's on this
On
side.
his right pec.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah,
So he's breathing in blood at least.
yeah.
His lungs his lungs filling with blood.
I mean, it took him a long time to to be healed just from all the flayed skin on his back. Like, how did he get healed quickly with an axe sunk into his?
Well, I mean, I assume Moraine just like after it all, she took care of him. But
Yeah.
I feel like people don't understand that. Like, yes, your heart is larger on the left side because of the LVA.
yeah, but it's in the middle, right? It's in the
but
middle.
it's centrally located.
Well, maybe they
It
don't have
just-
hearts in the show. Maybe they don't have hearts.
Fair enough. It's
That's
fantasy
why
show.
Leandrin could get stabbed basically
That
through the
must be
heart
it.
and be
That makes a
fine.
lot of sense, Taffy.
Makes more sense.
You can get stabbed through the heart with two swords, and that doesn't matter. You just get healed because it's really just a superficial wound at that point, right?
Okay.
And it only got Ivan because it got his spine. Yeah, they missed her
More
spine.
like
so.
Dummin. That doesn't make sense. But yeah, I find the entire thing with Perrin and Loyal and the Bane and Shiad.
That's true.
It's actually a terrible. Like, it doesn't do much for me. Like, of all the things
Nothing
that
a
happen
little
here,
healing can't fix. Yeah.
evidently.
That's
But
how
like
Count
the
Drogo died.
damn it. But like, to me, like, the axe is
I don't think it
one of
went
the
as
most.
hard. Don't get me wrong. I'm just like, It
No,
seems weird that it
Leandrin,
goes deeper and
Leandrin,
cause
they
more
got
damage.
her. They
Well, the
got
fact that he was
Leandrin
back
on the
up and got
side.
hit again, that's the part where I was like, really? Again? Like, the first one was. Like,
And
that
the
was
second one like split his hand. Like it like
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's another thing. And also, it killed his wedding ring, which, by the way,
it
as I was trying to
killed
say
his
earlier,
wedding ring.
it doesn't
There's this
feel like
thing
he's thought
called
about
the
her.
sternum. That an axe won't
Okay,
go
he's got the buffest sternum ever.
Yeah, again, it's clearly it's cartilage, it's bone, it's all
I'm
that.
guessing-
Like, the rib
I'm
cage coming
guessing-
together.
Andrew was run through on two sides of her heart. I mean, like, it doesn't even matter if it was her heart. It's
Right.
fine. You know,
Yeah.
like,
No, that's true.
Just
I'm
like
guessing
a cow against
Dovey's
that
not here tonight because we're not seeing anything about
That's three.
Perrin getting reamed.
oh yeah, parent. We don't make fun of Perrin. Anyway, the mirror Rands happened. I'm really sad we didn't get little mirror Rands, but this was awesome.
Disappointing.
Yeah, this was cool.
Yeah, that looked pretty
This
cool.
is good representation. I don't know if I 100% love it
Yeah,
because again, to me, like, when I think about it, it's Rand being confused by Rand. Here, it's Egwene being confused by Rand.
mm-hmm.
And that's a different feel.
Oh, this is Loyal breaking the axe. Sorry. Go ahead.
Which, by the way, we'll get to the axe thing in a second. But so it's a different feel to it. That being said, I fucking love the fact that we got it. Of all the seasons I thought we would lose, that felt kind of
Yeah, I wasn't expecting
Yeah.
Bubble Booble, so it was pretty cool to see Bubble Booble, even if it was actually Lampere.
Oh, look who we conjured somebody.
We were just
Aha!
talking about
There she is. We were just wondering what you have to say about it. Did you like seeing
Hashtag parents
Perrin
like,
get
hashtag
axed
Egwene
in the
supremacy.
chest?
All right, go get a drink, Toby. Go to get a drink. We haven't even started talking about episode 2. Jono.
You're gonna watch me lose steam and leave early because I'm pretty sure there's like a
Do you want to go?
7% chance.
Do you want to go
My
move
wife
the
was-
washer real quick, and we'll wait for you?
Don't talk about my wife. Like, oh, move the washer. I thought you were calling her the washer.
All right, loyal axe breaking happens.
That feels dumb, right?
Land finally reacts.
Hold on.
By the way, he's running in that scene, so he's very blurry.
Shanda made a very good point. My blow up doll.
Yeah.
Is it really smart to break the handle off the axe,
No.
considering that that's how you're catching it?
Yeah. Because if it was the blade, if the blade had just ripped itself free and started
Well, he
flinging
sunk
down,
it. He
it'd be a
sunk it
lot
into
harder to
the
stop it.
stone.
That's
He sunk
true.
it into the stone. So that's what was
But why
supposed
would
to
he
be
think
stopping
that's
it.
enough? You know, I guess there's enough of an indication that it's not moving, but I would have waited for a solid 30
It just
minutes
feels
before
like
I was-
you've gone from being able to catch it to
Yeah.
hoping.
Yeah, you're gonna clap your hands together and stop the axe blade from smashing into you. Anyway, Lan goes and saves Nynaeve. I guess the whole thing
because he's had enough. Because they've been watching the whole time, And
Yeah.
watching the first time was terrible, and watching the second time was worse. Like finding out that this is their plan together.
Uh-huh.
By the way, spoilers, it's their plan together. Was fucking tough.
Yep.
The first time, yeah, I was a little bit but then I had to like kind of make sense, and as far as visually moving the story along, having to remember that they're both trying to, I don't know. At first I was like, Moraine wouldn't, but she really, I mean, what is she going to do? Tell Lanfear no? So by cooperating a little bit, she can kind of be like, okay, that's fine, but you can't fucking kill them. It's just a distraction. She might
Yes.
say, I might need them later. They might be
Nobody was really
useful
excited
later.
for Jenna.
Yeah, that was
I
soon as they
think,
started moving. That was
I think
cool.
it was kind of. I think it was fine reliving like the trauma of his past lives. I would have loved one of those little characters to like come out of the card and like stab him in the hand, like it does at the very
That would
least.
have been cool.
The cards is the definition of pale imitation of what's in the book. Everything else
It
gets a
wasn't
pretty
bubble
decent.
I know, we know it wasn't a bubble.
Yeah, we get that. Like we get that. Quiet man. Unless he's responding to other things.
By the way, guys,
but-
despite my gripes and stuff, I actually love the show. Otherwise, I mean, like that's
Okay,
our
yeah.
entire. I think that's our
Right.
entire
It is. We're not gonna. That's. I mean, well, we've been doing that. Well, you guys, but we've been doing that with the books. We're
Bubble of
obsessed with the
Lanfear.
books, but we still
Yeah.
talk shit about stuff that happens in the books.
Oh yeah, of course.
But you've been talking about these books on a podcast for 13, 14 years, and then for like 30 years of reading, because we're obsessed with it.
We gotta
So we
wrap
love it,
this
but you still
episode
have to
up.
like call shit out. That's
Yeah,
weird.
let's wrap this episode up. As
We have
Joe's
episode 2 to
doing
talk
today.
about. All right, we're doing this at light speed, and then we can talk about it and then move on. Lan gives the ring to Nynaeve. They all say their goodbyes. Rand basically says, "Guess what? We're not going to Tyr. We're going to Ruidian / the Aiel Waste." And then we get the quick Gray Man creation, which I thought visually looked fucking amazing. I loved it. I don't know if I love that Maginian's the only one that makes Gray Man, but I guess I don't care. That's fine. But anyway, we get the little epilogue with Maginian.
So, only two things I have to say to finish that out. One, I love Matt's quick note. You ever notice that the White Tower looks like a giant cock?
That was
I'm
great.
really glad they put that in there. Like that's
That
like,
was-
why the fuck not? Like because obviously the White Tower is giant cock. Also, greater extent,
Davy
the whole
Jones,
thing's a giant fucking pussy,
giant dick.
just waiting to get fucked. It's the whole town. It's the whole town. That also, secondly, it's really weird that it's Moghedian, considering that Moghedian is like the weakest Forsaken. Yeah, like so many things. Yes, she's the spider. She does stick around for a while, but she's only consequential because she has this vendetta, really. Like there's not much to her until she gets the vendetta.
Mm-hmm.
But then all of a sudden, now she's creepy as fuck. And she's, I guess technically she's like Moghedian mixed with Agenor. Really? Is that right? Because Agenor is the one who created so
maybe.
many, like the Trollocs and the
Well, yeah, but Agenor and Balthamar are obviously two of the Forsaken that were just going, they just
No.
don't-
So like the point is to combine them because there's
Right.
either 7 or whatever.
Oh,
so
right.
Combine so
there's 8.
Moghedian and
Yeah.
Agenor is such a weird combination I would never expected.
Mm-hmm.
But now all of a sudden she's doubly fucking weird.
Yeah. Right. Creating an army of assassins that tracks. Yeah, I agree. Don't you feel see? Oh, does Zamagi call him Boris? No, I don't think so. She calls him Jakim.
Jackie.
Yeah.
Jackie.
I kept
wait,
wondering
calls
what
him
she was
Jachim.
saying.
Jachim.
Yeah, James.
Jochim. That's right.
At least Joaquin won't be drinking all that brandy.
That's too bad.
That was a great death in the books. That's unfortunate. Jai Chim. That's it. Jai Chim.
Jai Chim.
It took me a minute to understand what I was like. What the fuck is she saying? And I was like, oh, Jai Chim.
It was extremely off-putting, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, fuck me.
Yeah. I mean, again, visually it just fucking looked amazing. Like her putting those weeds in his body, like the ghostly like soul essence of him like sliding out the back of him was fucking amazing. Like,
yeah, that was pretty cool.
Sounds like my dick. I'll sound like a pee-pee.
Okay, go ahead.
all right.
I go pee-pee.
Okay. Ratings for episode 1, Taffy. Ratings. How did you feel
Well,
about it?
I don't know. You know what? I'm just the
How
whole
many Billy
vibe of
Zanes?
the first
How many Billy Zanes is
episode.
episode 1, Taffy?
I'll give it an 8. I actually really liked the first episode.
Okay.
I did, yeah.
Jono,
I
how
really
many
enjoyed
Billy
watching
Zanes
it.
You got for episode 1?
I'll give it a 6. I want to give it a 7, so I could say it's a 6.9.
6. Damn.
But it's a 6.
Okay.
My ratings for episode 1. Yeah, I'll give it an 8. I'm with Taffy. I'll give it an 8.
I also,
Nice.
Jono, I watched it a couple
My favorite
times,
part was
so
Alana
the
flipping
first time
over.
there's so much, and I'm like, I had time to like move past the weird shit in it that I didn't like at first.
Mm.
So then I think that kind of helps.